surely been asked if you're familiar with the privacy policy at a doctor's office, but when and why was this policy enacted? The HIPAA laws affect all people who receive medical care and work in the healthcare industry in the U.S. When I became a pharmacy technician, I was required to do extensive training about HIPAA. Today, I want to cover the history of the HIPAA laws, the most recognized regulations, and compliance of HIPAA. First, how did HIPAA come into fruition? The bill was originally passed by Bill Clinton in 1996. It was, at the time, the Kennedy-Kassebaum bill. Today, it is simply known as HIPAA, which stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It originated in the 1990s when computer usage was becoming more popular. It was anticipated that medical records would eventually be stored electronically, and they wanted a way to protect the patient's medical information. At the time when the law was passed, the regulations were not all specified, and there have been many additions to the overarching law. The goal of the original bill was to modernize health information exchange. According to the history of HIPAA, retrieved April 6 from recordnations.com, it also addressed the issue that people could keep their health care coverage if they left their jobs. Although HIPAA was passed in 1996, many of its regulations were not yet established. There are several regulations included in HIPAA, but two of the most renowned include the Privacy Rule and the HITECH Act. The Privacy Rule was finalized in the year 2000. It enforced that a patient's health information should be kept private. Many people have access to a patient's medical record throughout a doctor's visit, including doctors, nurses, and insurance providers. According to the Privacy Rule, this protected health information should not be shared with anyone outside of this network of providers. According to the PTC ebook of 2016, protected health information, or PHI, includes individually identifiable health information transmitted or maintained in any other medium. So, as a result, when entering medical care, a patient must sign a consent form that they are aware of the privacy policy. This not only protects the patient, but it holds the providers to abide by this standard of privacy. Second, the HITECH Act was enacted in 2009, and it expounded upon the rules concerning electronic PHI. One of the goals of HITECH was to increase the enforcement of the HIPAA laws. Persons who willfully neglect HIPAA laws would be subject to stringent penalties as a result of the HITECH Act. Additionally, the HITECH Act it enforced the breach notification requirement. If any healthcare system was suspect of a data breach, they were required to notify all patients who may be affected by such breach. According to Hackett article retrieved April 6th from Fortune.com, in December 2016, medical lab company Quest Diagnostics was a victim of a security breach, and as a result, they were required to notify all 35,000 customers that may be affected. So furthermore, the HITECH Act required electronic health record access for patients. According to the HITECH Act summary retrieved April 6 from USF Health Online, companies who streamline their medical records to an electronic record format are required to give their patients access to this health information via the computer. Now that we know a bit about HIPAA, I'd like to touch on both their compliance and success. From the time the HIPAA laws and added regulations went into effect, many people questioned their necessity. HIPAA enacted a number of requirements for compliance. First, everyone in the healthcare field must be trained in HIPAA. Second, at each company, there must be a compliance officer who stays up to date on HIPAA and keeps employees in check. So, along with the HITECH Act, HIPAA violations became more stringent. Penalties for HIPAA violations can be as high as $250,000. The success and necessity of HIPAA has been widely debated. According to Andrew's article retrieved April 6 from Livestrong.com, HIPAA has given patients the legal right to see their medical information and correct it. It has given patients peace of mind that their health information will be kept private. Perhaps most importantly, it has helped streamline electronic health records. Opponents believe that it has created more paperwork and caution within the healthcare industry. For example, at the pharmacy, we must lock up our HIPAA trash every day, and it is regularly destroyed by a HIPAA professional. Whether or not you believe that HIPAA laws are a necessity, it has become an intrinsic part of the healthcare industry. The HIPAA laws created a framework for the security and privacy of patients. Their compliance is strictly enforced and the laws remain eminent throughout the healthcare industry. HIPAA revamped healthcare laws in the U.S. at a time when it was becoming necessary. It is difficult to imagine not having the protection and security that HIPAA has provided for us as patients. So the next time you find yourself at the doctor's office, you might want to read up on the privacy policy or update your PHI. After all, it's the law.